Betrayal isn't just painful, it's soul-crushing, especially when it comes from the person you've loved, trusted, and built a life with for 25 years. My name is Richard, and I thought I had it all: a devoted wife, financial success, and a secure future. But life has a way of pulling the rug from under you when you least expect it. One night, I discovered a text message that shattered my world. Linda, my wife, was pregnant. But the child wasn't mine. She had been cheating behind my back with a man who wasn't just a fling, he was planning a future with her. She thought I'd be weak. She thought I'd raise another man's child. But what she didn't know? I wasn't the kind of man who forgave betrayal. I didn't beg. I didn't scream. I destroyed her life with the same patience and precision I used to build mine. By the time I was done, she lost everything: her home, her money, and most of all, the man she betrayed me for. Before I reveal how I executed the most ruthless revenge, make sure to subscribe to this channel. We share real-life cheating stories that expose the brutal truths of love, betrayal, and karma. If you enjoy gripping, emotional stories with satisfying endings, hit that subscribe button now. Now let's begin. I met Linda when I was 27, a young man with big dreams and a heart full of love. She was the kind of woman who could turn heads wherever she went. Beautiful, charming, and full of life. I fell for her hard, and when we got married, I promised to give her the life she deserved. I worked long, grueling hours to build a business from scratch, turning it into a successful construction company that made me a wealthy man. With my growing income, I bought us a beautiful home in an upscale neighborhood, luxury cars, and vacations to Europe. Linda never had to work, not once in 25 years. She was the queen of our castle, and I was happy to provide. I believed she was grateful, loyal, and content. But looking back, I should have noticed the warning signs. It started with small changes. Linda became distant. Her laughter didn't sound the same, and the warmth in her eyes when she looked at me had faded. At first, I thought it was just age, or maybe a phase in our marriage. But then came the sudden transformation. She began going to the gym daily, something she never cared for before. Her wardrobe changed: more fitted dresses, more makeup, more perfume. She started staying out later, making excuses about girls' nights and volunteering. I noticed how she was always glued to her phone, texting and smiling, but never sharing what was so funny. I asked her once, and she laughed it off. "Just the girls being silly," she said. I wanted to believe her, but deep inside, something felt wrong. Then came the ultimate betrayal. One evening, Linda went to bed early and left her phone on the nightstand, unlocked. Something inside me told me to check it. Maybe it was gut instinct. Maybe it was fate. When I picked up her phone, my hands were shaking. What I saw on that screen made my stomach turn. Hundreds of texts from a contact saved as D. Messages that weren't just flirtatious, they were explicit, raw, and filled with passion. But then I saw the message that changed everything. "I can't wait for our baby to be born. You and I will finally be a family." Baby? I scrolled further. Pictures of an ultrasound, appointments booked, plans being made. My heart stopped. Linda was pregnant, and I wasn't the father. I sat there, staring at her phone, my entire world crumbling around me. This wasn't just a fling. She wasn't just cheating. She was planning a new life with this man, a life that didn't include me. I felt rage boil inside me, but I didn't lose control. No, I was too smart for that. If she thought she could humiliate me and walk away untouched, she was dead wrong. The next morning, I sat at the kitchen table, waiting. Linda walked in, yawning, stretching, oblivious to the storm about to hit her. "Morning, babe," she said casually, grabbing coffee. I looked her in the eye. "Whose baby is it, Linda?" She froze mid-sip. The color drained from her face, her hands trembling. What?" she stammered, pretending not to understand. I picked up her phone and turned the screen toward her. "Don't play dumb. Just tell me. Whose baby is it? Silence. Then tears. But not the tears of someone sorry for what they did. The tears of someone sorry they got caught. Richard, I never meant for this to happen. Whose baby is it? I repeated, my voice cold. And then the truth slipped out of her mouth like poison. It's not yours. That was the moment I knew. This wasn't a mistake. This was a choice, and she was going to pay for it. I didn't yell. I didn't scream. I didn't even look angry. I just smiled. And that terrified her more than anything. She had no idea that her entire world was about to crumble. The next morning, I went to work. But not my usual work. I went to see my lawyer. Within 3 hours, I had done the following. Frozen all our joint bank accounts. Linda had never worked a day in her life. Every dollar she had was because of me. Cancelled her credit cards. No more shopping sprees, no more fancy dinners, no more luxury. Removed her name from the house deed. Legally, the house was mine. She had no right to it. Filed for divorce. And not just any divorce. I made sure she got nothing. That night, I walked into the house calm, collected, and ready. Linda greeted me with nervous energy. Richard, I think we should talk. I set the divorce papers on the kitchen table. We already did. Her face twisted in horror as she picked up the papers. You're divorcing me? Of course. You're having another man's baby. You thought I'd be a fool and raise it? But where am I supposed to go? How will I survive? She whispered, her voice shaking. Not my problem. She thought I'd cave. She thought I'd forgive. She underestimated me. 2 weeks later, she was homeless, penniless, and abandoned. And the best part, the man she cheated with? He disappeared the moment she lost everything. Now she's alone, struggling, regretting. And me? I'm thriving. Betrayal is a choice. And when someone chooses to betray you, make sure they regret it for the rest of their life. Subscribe for more stories like this, because karma never forgets.